Hello everybody and welcome to the round 8 of Season 4 DRC Tier 1 League. My name is Racing Mouse and I will be here commentating on the race today. Today we're at Singapore, street circuit, which is one of my favorite tracks actually. Uh, so I'm hoping for a good race today. We have a couple of guys missing. We don't have Agafa with us today and we don't have Igor today, but Jacob is still here. We have Striker Boy, who is also pretty fast. Don't forget Door to Door, who is champion of second season. We have Deathling as well. I think Deathling is now second in the championship. So yeah, the competition is gonna be as tight as on the any other day. So first out is Daxter in an Alfa Romeo. Behind him we have Deathling. Pockets is now exiting the pit lane. So Deathling out there leading the pack. He's gonna be the first one to start a flying lap. We can maybe try to get an onboard with him. He said to me before the race he is expecting no major crashes, and we'll see about that in the moment. But for now, everybody is keeping away from the barriers that are quite tight on the circuit. Other cars are starting to exit the pits. We have now both Mercedes out and away. We have both Ferraris out on the track. Obviously everybody is gonna be probably on softs during qualifying, as there is no merit to going on mediums. Because I probably already know, you don't need to start the race on the compound you made your fastest lap on. So here we are with Deathling, just clearing the final corner and across the line to start the first flying lap of the session. Good braking zone to turn 1, which is a neat and tidy chicane. Big braking zone for turn 3, and now a little bit of a straight and into another 90-degree corner and the first DRS zone. DRS wide open, he's trying to gain as much speed as possible, and there is a back marker of Alice, I believe that is, the McLaren. Let's see if he can move out of the way as to not disturb Deathling's flying lap. And he does so. Very good to see the sportsmanship is still alive between the boys. Deathling is going through the most demanding section, keeping the car out of the barriers somehow. And the most difficult braking zone in the bridge in the middle of the corner. But he made that corner quite well, and into the secondary zone we go, and another tight right-hander. Deathling is setting a purple sector now. In the middle section of the track. Obviously he's one of the faster drivers around here. And now into the bus stop corner, he goes under the bridge, keeps the car out of the barrier still, kisses the curb on the way into the corner. He almost touches the barrier on the outside, and to final corner we go again. He crosses the line, and that's a time of 1:37.4, which is not bad. It's actually quite a good time. He didn't invalidate, so it's gonna be a high bar to clear for the other guys. We see another times popping up. It's Corny with 1:39.2, 2 seconds slower than Deathling. There's Latin with 1:38.3, 1 second slower, and there's another guy that managed to come into 1:37. So it's AIM with a time of 1:37.8. We have a yellow flag. That's a Ferrari of Fanex, I think. He was... yeah, he's missing a front wing, so that must have been an accident. We have a first retiree of the session. It's MKL, who has caused yellow flags in Sector 2. Bahrain Berry also had a spin, so he is now waiting for other cars to pass, and he's gonna have a long way to come to start the next flying lap. You obviously cannot jump back to the pits like in Assetto Corsa, so he will have to go back by himself, try to keep out of the way for the Mercedes of Scrap, that is, I think. And we have another retiree, that's Chris, with another yellow flag in the final corner this time. So yeah, the track is picking up its first casualties of the day. Meanwhile, Striker Boy managed to come very close to Deathling with a time of 1:37.4. Only a couple of tenths separates them, a couple of hundreds actually, should I say. So, as I said, the competition is gonna be tight between those two. Pockets, another one to go into 1:37s. He's now sitting in third. We are now watching Bahrain Berry fighting out on the track with Scrap. No, actually, it's Striker Boy. So both of them probably on their in-laps, because going that closely together is gonna obviously hurt their times. Let's see, a lot of cars are actually out there on the track. We have Daxter on his out lap, and we have Ali, which I can only assume on his flying lap. Those are some good lines, but he seems a little bit slower than Deathling was, and he's weaving about, so I don't think he's on a flying lap. And we have another McLaren of Jacob out there on the track. Let's see if Jacob might be on his flyer. He's definitely going faster than his teammates through those sections, so he might as well be. Let's see, he didn't put out... No, he's on an outlap, sorry. I've just noticed on the timing sheet. So Jacob is one of the 5 drivers who was not able to set up a time as for now. The other ones are Chris and MKL, both of them out of the session. They crashed out for the qualifying, so they are obviously not gonna improve. There is Daxter, who started his flying lap. He's now in the second sector, in the second DRS zone. Let's see. Ah, that's so close to the barrier. He actually touched the barrier on the outside of the corner, I think. And we have another yellow flag, and that's Oli in another Alfa Romeo. I don't think Oli is out. He is not. He will be able to start his flying lap again when he picks himself up. We have still... Oh, and that's a spin from Daxter. He kept it outside of the barriers, but that time is gonna be no good if he wants to put his car in a decent position for the race. He decided to abandon the lap, change the tires and start again later. So Jacob Snacks is finally on his flying lap. I saw a little bit of a rear action going on with his car, but he managed to set up a purple sector, so he might actually be able to put up some decent time. Scruffy has joined. Will he be joining me to commentate, or wait? No, I have no idea why Scruffy joined. There's another purple sector from Jacob Snacks. So Deathling is probably looking at... No, Deathling is out there on the track. I thought he was in the pits. He was a moment ago. But Deathling is not gonna be happy about what Jacob is about to do right now. Jacob is now in the final sector. A couple of corners left. Will he be repeating Daxter's mistake? Or will he be able to complete the lap? He is nearing the final corner of the track. He is now past the final corner and across the line, and that's a provisional pole. Not by much. 1/10 separates him from the second place now, Daxter. So Daxter actually might have a lot more work to do than he anticipated just a moment ago. And there's another yellow flag. That's Mercedes of Striker Boy letting Pockets by. and letting Lachtan by, I think. We have another yellow flag, that's an Alpine. That was an Alpine of Fawaz. I think he had a moment there. Fawaz now with a time of 1:40. That's not a very competitive time as things stands right now. So he's very slow into the first sector, so he will be probably pitting during this lap and maybe get a second tire compound. And we have a McLaren in the wall, and that's Jacob. That's Jacob Snacks. He was stationary on the track for a moment, but now he's going again. I don't see any damage on his wing, so nothing major, but he will be probably pitting. Another yellow flag, that's an Alfa Romeo letting other cars by, I see. And Jacob Snacks invalidated, so he'll be starting another lap, or will he pit? He's diving into the pits, so yeah, that's it from Jacob Snacks for now. Let's see, Defling is in the second sector on his flying lap. He'll be trying to get that provisional pole back from Jacob. Right now things look good for Defling as he sets up a purple sector in the middle of the track again. Will that be enough? Obviously not much separates them, so might as well. I don't know how much of the purple sector was that. And how was the first sector of Daxter? Of Defling, we'll have to see. There's an Alpine in front of Defling, so will that be compromising his lap? No, the Alpine moves out of the way to go to the pits. He's now clearing the final corner again and across the line, and that's a 1:36.8. Amazing time from Defling, and that will surely be enough to put him in a provisional pole, but will Jacob come up with an answer to that? We'll have to wait and see. Looks like Defling is still trying to make even better flying lap. He's now clearing the first sector. He did not improve, so he might be pitting and changing his tires yet again to grab some fresh set to make an even better lap. But making a better lap than that is gonna be difficult. We have another yellow flag, that's I don't know what was that. Fanex is in the pits, so that couldn't have been him. And we have another Alpha Tauri, that's AIM this time, going very slowly. And another yellow flag, this time I think it was Scruffy, but he was only letting an Alfa Romeo by. So again, nothing dangerous out there. And AIM decided to take a dive into the pit. Still have 4 minutes left in the session, so he will be able to put up a better lap time, hopefully. And that's another yellow flag. That's Oli this time, stationary on the track, facing the wrong direction. His lap time was obviously invalidated. Let's hope he will not get disqualified for sitting on the track for too long. He moves out of the way, so I think he's clear to not get disqualified. Alicento also invalidated. His track is flashing red, so he will not be improving on this occasion. Daxter managed to put up a time. He's now 11th. And Scruffy is now across the line, and he made a time good enough for third. A time of 1:37.4. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that would be good enough for provisional pole if Jacob, Snacks and Defling didn't improve their laps. So yeah, maybe we'll see a 4, maybe even 5-way battle for the win today. Striker Boy is also very close to the guys in front. So Scruffy is almost the only car outdoor on the track. We have Fawas and Bahrain Berry. Oh, and that was a big spin on the bridge section. Scruffy is gonna be surely pitting after this. Hopefully he will still be able to go out. It's gonna take him a little longer to go back to the pits and then go back again. He has 2 minutes to go back to the pits, then go out and improve on his time. I don't think that's gonna be possible for Scruffy now, so he will probably stay third unless someone puts him even down further down the order. So right now we have Jacob Snacks again on his out lap. All the other guys are going out yet again to try and improve on their laps. That's gonna be an interesting end to the qualifying session. Devlin is still in the pit. He will be able to go out a little bit later, but he has to hurry if he does want to make it across the line before the times run out. So Bahrain Berry is now starting with another flying lap. Let's see. The line he is taking looks fairly decent, but the line the Ferrari of Fanex took is not looking very decent at all. Sorry, that was not Fanex, that was an Alfa Romeo. I know, I thought that was Ferrari. That was probably Oli. No, that was Daxter. Daxter was spun around on his out lap. Is there a damage to his front wing, I wonder? Yes, there is. He's missing an end plate on the left side. So there's a tall order in front of Daxter to improve on that time, with a part of front wing missing. But now Jacob Snacks is on his flying lap, and is he improving at all? It's hard to tell because he's just now started the second sector. We'll have to wait and see for him to go across the line in the second DRS zone. Well, his time is certainly looking fast, but is that fast enough to go back at Deflink? That was a purple middle sector, and that was an improvement of almost 2/10, so yeah. If he has a decent third sector, he might as well be able to beat Deflink. So the timer has gone past, and now 4 cars are done with their qualifying, and 5th car is... What is Barrenberry doing? I don't know. There's a yellow flag. Oh, he was spun just before the line, but Jacob went across the line. He did improve. He went to 1:36s, but that was not enough to beat Deflink. So Deflink now looks to take the pole position for the qualifying today. Scruffy now across the line. He didn't improve, obviously. Daxter now also across the line. He stays 12th. And we have another Ferrari in the wall. That's Fanex, and he's now out of the session as well. And M goes across the line. He goes third with 1:37.3. That's a very good result from the AlphaTauri driver. We have another car to go across the line. That's going very slowly. That's not Tundra, that's Fawas, I believe. And that's qualifying over for him. Another car across the line. That was Lachtan, I think. He's 8th. Now Oli across the line. He's 7th, pushing door to door and Lachtan down. So Tundra across the line. He does not improve, stays 10th. And another Mercedes going to cross the line. He is Striker Boy, and Striker Boy pushes aim, Scruff pockets down. He's now 3rd, and that was a purple sector from Striker Boy. Scrub now also across the line. He stays 13. Alicento, he is now also across the line, and he improved enough to put himself into the top 10. He's now 9th with a time of 1:38.2. Good stuff for the McLaren drivers. Both of them should be pretty pleased with the result they achieved. Obviously, Jacob was probably will probably be disappointed he did not get that pole position. But with Devlin around, that was not to be today. So, Devlin was out there on a flying lap. He did not even consider crossing the line. He was not improving, and he didn't need to, because Devlin, with a time of 1:36.8, is now on a pole position for the race today. Behind him we have Jacob Snacks, Striker Boy, Aim, Pockets, Scruffy, Ollis, Door to Door, Alicento, and Lachtan closing the top 10. That was an exciting qualifying. Shame there was nobody to talk about it with me. But I have to be enough for you. Hopefully I'm not talking too much garbage. Hello, George. So yeah, we have to wait a couple more seconds, maybe 2 or 3 minutes, for the guys to pick up their setups for the race, to pick their strategies, pick enough fuel to go around the track enough times and not run out. For some that might be too many calculations, but the F1 game is actually pretty lenient with that and is making the calculations for you. And we have a rain. Is that a rain? It is a rain. So we're gonna have a rainy start on the Singapore Grand Prix. That's gonna make things a lot more lively. Yeah, George, me too. I'm also looking forward to the race that's gonna unfold. And we have confirmation from the FIA. The race is gonna start in 20 seconds now. So, the cars are now lined up on the grid, the lights are on, and it's lights out and away we go. Good start from Jacob, he leaves the Aim car in behind, Scruffy now jumping places, as is Pockets. Jacob Snacks going free wide and he's touched down and he's spun around. Striker Boy, Scruffy, door to door, Ollie gained the position, but Devlin is now clear and away from the rest of the grid. That was a good start, but the safety car is now out. I think someone might have been striked down, and is now missing a front wing. We have cars swapping places. What is going on in the back of the grid, I wonder? That doesn't look good. Daxter is going very slowly for some reason. I think that might have been a connection issue, as Barhenberg is now missing his entire front wing. A correction, I don't see a safety car on the map, so that might be just a virtual safety car. That's gonna slow the pace down a little bit, but it's probably gonna end before the finish of the first lap. And it is. The cars are now free to race again. MKL very close to the gearbox of Scrap, and he's trying to pull out a move into the hairpin. He is now side by side with the Mercedes of Scrap. That's gonna be an interesting battle. Let's see from the point of view. He's now inching ahead and he has a better line, but Scrap breaks a little bit later. He now forces Scrap to go wide, but Scrap will not give up the place that easily. Unfortunately, he had to, as MKL now slots in front of the Mercedes and now takes 8th. Further up the order, door to door is trying to make a move on Scruffy. He's now a little bit further back than a moment ago. So the gaps are now starting to form. It's obviously very difficult to overtake in these conditions. That was an amazing move from MLK to actually move fair and square without touching too much. But Devlin is driving away from Striker Boy. Striker Boy is losing pace to the Haas in front. So you could say that Haas drivers Pockets and Devlin had a very good start. Pockets is now third somehow. In all that mess on the first lap, first corner, Pockets emerged victorious, but he is now in the danger from Scruffy. And Door-to-Door is there in the mix as well, so Pockets will have to defend two cars now, unless he might be picking up the pace. Further down the other, Michael makes a move on Alicento, but Alicento is defending neatly, and they didn't touch. I don't see any damage on any of them, but now they're going very close together. Aim, Alicento and MLK fighting for the 6th spot. Now Michael pulls up alongside Alicento, and Alicento has to give up the position. And yeah, Michael moves up, and he's now gonna try to get in front of his teammate as well. Alicento now in danger from Scrap. There's a lot of action going on the second lap, and now Scrap tries to make a dive on McLaren. He does not succeed. Alicento had a better line, better off, but now Scrablord has the better traction along the DRS zone, and he moves up a place for now. But Alicento is still there on his inside, and he's now a little bit further ahead. But Scrap had a better start again, but he had to concede the position as now they touched a little bit. Scrap made a loss. Corny tried to pick his nose in front of the Mercedes, but he has to concede. Aim had a bit of a moment there. He had a slip when he got on the power. So now MKL moved up a lot of places. He started 10th, I believe, and now is 6th. Meanwhile, Scruffy is getting closer to the rear gearbox of Pockets. He wasn't able to make a move into the pit straight, but he will be trying to stay as close to the Haas in front as possible for as long as possible. Pockets is not making any mistakes as of yet, but now Pockets had a little bit of a better exit, although Scruffy still has the drag. Oh, and we'll get another VRC, so Scruffy was not able to make a move. That was the Ferrari of Fanex. Fanex is out of the session. So now Tundra was able to actually get sort of a free pit stop. I don't think he lost any positions. The field was a little bit spread in the rear. So we have a little bit of a moment to breathe right now. That was an action-packed moment in the third lap of the race. If anyone is doing clips and highlights, that was the moment to clip, certainly. So Scrap lost a couple of places. He's gonna try to get them back when the flag goes green, and it did go green, and Scrap is now on the attack as soon as the flag showed itself, and he now made a first place from Aim. Aim is now on the inside of Jacob. Jacob also was able to overtake Aim. I wonder if Aim got any damage from that contact with Scrap. He's going awfully slow right now. He got overtaken by Corny yet again. Aim might actually be disconnected or something. I don't know. He is missing an end plate to the right side of his front wing. So Aim is gonna probably pit right now to fix the damage, and that's gonna drop him probably to P15, maybe? Maybe he'll be able to come out in front of Lachtan. But Aim chooses to push on. He does not pit right now. He will be struggling on the wet surface without a front wing on the Singapore streets. Let's see how that turns out for him. And meanwhile, Scrap is now defending from Jacob. Jacob obviously is a very fast driver. He was starting second. He's now 9th after a spin on the first lap. Now we had a move from Chris on Aim, and we had a spin from Ollie, and now Ollie is in the wall, and now that's a full safety car out. And that is a full safety car, so the guys will not be able to overtake each other for now, and the field is gonna be bunched up, and that's a good news for anyone behind Daxter. So Lachtan, Bahrain, Berry and Tundra will be allowed to join with the rest of the grid. Obviously that's not a very good news for Deathling and Striker Boy, who were leading the race with quite a margin to the next guy. But as I said, they will now bunched up and they're gonna lose the advantage. Let's actually see what are the tire choice. Yeah, this is the wet race. I had a brain fart. Everybody's on the intermediates, so there is not gonna be any strategy concerning the tires involved during the the race, at least for now. So both Deathling and Striker Boy and Scruffy and Door and Amakel and Jacob Snacks, apparently, they all decided to get into the pits to change the tires for a new compound. That might be a good idea, since everybody is on the same tires as the start of the race, and the intermediates are very degrading very fast. Some of them actually putting slicks. Yes, Jacob Snacks had to wait for his teammate because Alicento was forced to take a nose change, so Jacob Snacks dropped to P12. That is actually a very good idea to change to slicks if the conditions are gonna improve. From where I sit, it looks like it's still very much raining, but maybe the guys know something I don't, or they are counting on the fact that the safety car is gonna be going slowly and it's gonna allow them to sort of slide through the safety car period, and maybe when the flag goes green again they will be able to gain a lot of places compared to the guys that opted to stay out. So yeah, as things stand right now, Pockets, Scrap, Striker Boy, and well, that's basically it. All of those drivers opted to stay out and they are still on intermediates, and the rest of the grid decided it's time to pit for slicks. So Deathling, Striker Boy, Scruffy, Door to Door, MKL, Alicento, Chris and Jacob, and all the guys behind Fawaz, all of them are on slicks now. Deathling decided it's best to go to mediums and then probably pit again for hards. Meanwhile, Striker Boy decided to go out on hards and maybe possibly stretch out the stint and pit for softs later. We'll have to wait and see. But I think the track is actually getting drier now, so staying out might have not been the best idea. After all, now Pockets and Scrap, they are now pitting. They are gonna lose a lot of places because of that. So Pockets goes on hard, Scrap goes on mediums, and they emerge behind Alicento. So Pockets P7, Scrap P8. They were running first and second. So the safety car came at the worst possible moment for the guys that were trying to stretch their stint on the intermediates. It's been a while since the safety car came out, so I expected to go in during this lap. We might see some action again. Oh, that's a neat camera angle from the heli there. We can now see the Singapore Bridge. And one of the hardest corners, the heavy braking zone to the hairpin before the second DRS zone. It looks like the safety car is gonna stay out for one more lap, allowing Tundra, Bahrain, Berry, Fawaz, Corny and Latan as well to catch up to the rest of the field. So that is good news for them. Maybe not so good news for us, because I am hungry for more action. I don't know how about the people watching. So as of now, everybody except Tundra was able to catch up the rest of the field. Tundra now obviously has to go like crazy to gain enough time to actually get back to the place where he can put up some fights for points. He's now running dead last and he has a big gap to the rest of the field. But it looks like he will just barely make it, and the safety car is in this lap. So we'll go in green when the safety car comes back to the pits, and the Deathling will be the one to lead the restart. Let's see, will he be able to fool the guys behind him and actually catch them napping? Or will he be overtaken by Striker Boy, who is hungry for more wins? And Deathling puts his pedal to the metal and goes away. Striker Bull will not be able to catch him on the end of the straight, or will he? Will he think about the dive bomb? No, he sticks behind him. As we have a yellow flag again, that is Lachtan, who had an accident or something. Maybe his tires just went off a little bit too much on the start. And now Striker Boy is being overtaken by Scruffy and it moved into the first DRS zone. And Scruffy is now P2. Definitely is gonna be delighted to see that, because that means he's gonna be safe for a couple more seconds. Behind them, MKL is now making up places, trying to overtake Door to Door. He got touched by Alicento, I believe, and now Door to Door was able to get back at MKL and regain the place. Let's see behind them. Alicento has lost some ground. Now Pokes, will he be thinking about an overtake on the McLaren, or will he stay behind, try to defend from Scrap, who is also gonna be wanting to gain some places. Nobody made the dive bomb into the hairpin, and we have another yellow flag. This time is Fawaz, who is now dropped to the last place. He's not yet out of the session, at least I think, but he's going awfully slow. Is there a damage to his front wing? Yes, there is. He's missing an entire wing, so he's obviously gonna have to pit after a shunt like that. Meanwhile, Alicento gets a 3-second time penalty for cutting corners too much. That is not gonna help his chances, but this is only lap 9 of 31. Other people are bound to get penalties as well, so let's not cross him out just yet. So the battle between MKL and Door to Door is still going on. MKL was very close to the gearbox of the Aston Martin. MKL had a little bit of a worse exit. Dordor is now getting further ahead. But meanwhile, as we are watching that, Scruffy is getting closer and closer towards the gearbox of Deflin's Haas. Not much separates them. Will he be able to make a move into the hairpin on the bridge? That's one of the prime opportunities to make a move. He decides not to, as he was too far behind. And now the DRS is still disabled, so he will not be able to overtake him there. Oh, but Chris is now trying to make a train, while Jacob Snacks is trying to get ahead of the Ferrari, and he does so. A needle move from Jacob that puts him back into contention for the race win, maybe, perhaps, in the standard safety car. Jacob is running 10, but he was starting second, so the race is not going well for the McLaren. And now Chris makes another mistake that allows Aim to maybe have a move, have a go. And yes, they're going now side by side into the last turn, and Chris had to concede, but that forces Corny to go wide. Will Corny be able to have a better exit into the pit straight? Yes, he will. They are now side by side, as is Barrenberry and Tundra. Chris now comes up on top. Corny had to concede the place, but I think he will be trying to get that back yet again from the Ferrari. Yes. And no, Corny tried to make a move, but Chris tangled him, and Corny is spun around. That's probably gonna be a penalty. I would have to see that yet again, but that allows Barrenberry to jump some places, and he will be the next one to have a go at Chris's Ferrari. That also means that Aim is gonna be safe for now, and Scrap was another one to get a 3-second time penalty for cutting corners. Alicento will be happy to kill that because he is still in that danger from Scrap. And now Barrenberry had a better exit. He's now side by side with the Ferrari. He is now almost ahead of the Ferrari. He will have the better line, and he's in front of Chris's car even before the corner even began. So yeah, Barrenberry making up a place. He's now running 11th. And Chris is now in danger from Tundra. But Tundra overshoots. He's braking a little bit into the bus stop corner. That's gonna lose him some time, but not too much. He's still within a touching distance to the Ferrari if he's gonna be able to open up his rear wing. Oh, but now Tundra goes wide, and that was enough to warrant a time penalty for the Alpine driver. Pockets, meanwhile, is in prime opportunity to take 6th place, and he does so. Alicento drops down to P7. Scrap is trying to gain on that occasion, but he outbrakes himself and go wide. So here we have it. Pockets is now P6, which is gonna allow him to chase down door to door. Unless Alicento and Scrap will be able to get back at him. They're going quite closely together. And Tundra now gets in front of Chris, as Fawaz gets in front of Daxter. Daxter was visiting the pits for one more time. And let's see, Jacob Snacks now was able to catch up to Scrap and Alicento. He's obviously Alicento's teammate, so if he will be able to get in front of the Mercedes before the Mercedes gets in front of his teammate, he will be gaining 2 places, as I believe Alicento will have no problem letting him by. Oh, Scrap is looking left and right to get in front of McLaren, as Alicento now decides to dive into the pits, which allows Jacob to make again on his teammate, and now chase down the Mercedes of Scrap. On this occasion, Scrap was able to open up his DRS because of Alicento was 1 second behind him, and now Jacob Stax tried to make a move, but he touched Scrap's left rear wheel, which basically ruined his chances of overtake on this occasion. But now Scrap does not have a DRS, Jacob Stax does, so will we see them move into the next turn? No, Jacob Stax was too far back, but he will not give up that easy. We all know Jacob is a very fast driver, and now he touches Scrap. Scrap barely makes it alive out of that corner. Jacob Stax will have to apologize for that little shunt. But on the other hand, that lets Scrap know that Jacob Stax is very fast, he wants that place as soon as possible, he will not be cutting corners, but he will be trying to make a move on the Mercedes as soon as possible. So Jacob now with the DRS, he's gaining on the Mercedes, gaining and gaining. He was thinking probably about diving there, but he decided not to, as not to ruin his race too early. That is a proper defense from Scrap, and Jacob Stax is powerless to do anything about it. But there is another DRS zone coming. Activate telemetry. Yep, no worries. So, during that DRS zone, Jacob Stax was still a little bit too far behind, but there is another one coming right up, and if Jacob Stax is going to have a better exit out of that corner, he does not, but the DRS is a very powerful tool, and he's inching closer towards Scrap, inching closer and closer. He tries to go from the outside, he dives a little bit later, he still makes the corner stick, and now has the inside line, and Scrap was running to the wall. I don't see any damage to Scrap's wing, but now Scrap's gonna be in danger from AIM, and AIM overtakes Scrap as well. Scrap is not gonna be happy about the way Jacob Stax dealt with him, but for now Jacob Stax is in front. So P7 from Jacob, he's gonna be chasing down pockets now. Meanwhile, in front, Deathlink was able to make a little bit of a cushion between himself and Scruffy. Scruffy is now 8 tenths behind the House of Deathlink. And Striker Boy lost a position to MKL. I think MKL was 4th. He was fighting with Door to Door, if I'm not mistaken. So, yeah. The places are swapping all the way across the board. Deathlink, meanwhile, good enough for the fastest time of the race, with 1:41.3. And now Striker with the DRS, he's getting closer towards MKL, but not close enough. That was a valid effort, but he'll have to try again on the next DRS zone. Let's see, will he be able to do the same thing as Jacob, maybe a little bit more clearly without touching the other drivers. And now Tundra is out of the session. He made a mistake into the last turn, and we have another virtual safety car. That's gonna be good news for Scrablord, who decided to pit. Maybe he did have some damage after all. He's gonna get overtaken by Lachtan, but I don't think he's gonna get overtaken by Alicento. No, actually he will. So Alicento moves up a place, but don't forget, he still has that time penalty. Although so does Scrap, so that doesn't really change much at this point in time. No, Penguin, that's... wait, losing nice... No, that's a virtual safety car, they're not losing any gaps. And the yellow flag is back up, and we are free to race, but now Scruffy is a lot closer to Deathlink than on the previous lap. So will we see another battle unfold between the two leaders? didn't have a single VRC in T2. Yeah, I have to make a confession, I didn't watch the T2 race. Also, I do not know if it's on reduced. I was not the one making the lobby. I didn't check the settings beforehand, so I cannot answer that. But Deathling was able to make a better exit. Now Scruffy is a little bit further down from the Haas. He was not able to make any moves into turn 1 or the next DRS zone. So the leader is still Deathling, as he was for the entirety of the race. No, he wasn't. After the first pit stops, he lost the place to Pockets, I believe. It's not really important. But if it wasn't for the safety car, he would still be leading the race, I believe. So yeah, Deathling is absolutely dominating right now, and now that I cursed him, let's watch him die into the next corner. So Door to Door is now in danger from Pockets. That's gonna be a good news for the Czech driver, as he is being chased down by angry Jacob Snacks. The fact that he will be able to hold on to DRS from Door to Door is gonna help him a lot, unless he wants Door to Door's 5th place. So in that case, they will be probably losing a little bit of time. But I think Pockets know that. I think he will be trying to play a long game here, try to stick to Door, not disturb his pace too much, try to get away from the McLaren, but that doesn't make a big difference, as Jacob Snacks is still inching more closely towards the two of them with every flying second. So out there in front we have two battles, for first and for third, between Deathling and Scruffy for the win, and between MKL and Striker Boy for the final step of the podium. Not much changing between the first pair of them. Deathling is still leading, the gap between them is still barely enough to enable Scruffy the DRS assistance. But between MKL and Striker Boy is a little bit closer, I think. Looks like Striker Boy is now within half a second of the car ahead. So any moment now we might see an overtake. So we are past the halfway point of the race. The drivers are now gonna be more and more tired after driving for so long on such a demanding track. We now have 3 drivers DNFing. We might see a couple more. Obviously, I'm not wishing for any of them to finish prematurely, but it's the truth of the track. It is difficult to drive on and not die. So we have Fawaz with another time penalty of 3 seconds for cutting the corners. I mean, I don't know how can cut the corners on the track that's basically only barriers, but still here we are. And now Striker Boy pulled out alongside MKL for a second, tried to make a move but didn't succeed. MKL still in front, Striker Boy inching closer towards MKL, and now he is very close behind him. He will now have the DRS assistance. Will he be able to overtake him, I wonder? No, MKL had a better exit. I wonder if MKL is driving a lower wing setup, which allows him to gain an advantage on the straights and stay ahead of the Mercedes of Striker Boy. And we have another yellow flag. That's Chris again spinning his car. I wonder if he has any damage. Let's jump quickly towards his Ferrari. Oh, that doesn't look good. He's not missing his front wing, but he's gonna get overtaken by Fawaz. And he is, yes. So, Chris now driving plumb last, and he spins again. His tires must be overcooked. Like completely. Oh no! That was astonishing. Now, Deathling and Scruffy, who was battling for the lead of the race, they are now out of the race because of Chris. They're gonna be so angry about that. So that puts MK on the first step of the podium now. And that's obviously... I am lost for words. That is some degree of oh Penguin, yes, I can smell the report already. You are not wrong there. Definitely is probably be fuming about that. He had the win in his pocket already. I mean, Scruffy was out there with him, but he was not able to make any moves on Deathling. So yeah, basically their Chris is throwing Deathling's victory in a bin. I mean, that's reason enough for the race ban, if not for the league ban, in my opinion. So we're gonna be discussing that with the stewards later on. Obviously, the disadvantage on the Singapore track is that you cannot see what's behind the corner. There were the yellow flags, but the guys were probably thinking that someone is out of the racing line, not dead straight on it. So, the safety car is out yet again. The field's gonna be bunched up yet again. And the two leaders are now out of the race. That's gonna be a disappointing end to the afternoon. So the leader decides to that it's time to pit, rightfully so, I would say. We still have a couple of laps till the end. MKL now puts on a new set of hearts. And that actually is a good comment, Spladwick. Moving around like that when the other cars are passing, they might try to avoid him. But yeah, that one, I'm not gonna discuss it on stream, obviously. We're gonna have a discussion with stewards after the race. But it's not looking good for the Ferrari driver. Yeah, obviously you don't want to slow down when you are leading the race and being chased by another driver who is comparably fast to you. But as we now saw, they should have slowed down, that's for sure. Exactly, we'll see what the stewards say. That's not for me or any of us to decide right now. So yeah, the race got a little bit more, I was gonna say interesting, but maybe that's not the right word, let's say unpredictable.
Hello, Mouse. I've come to
Hello.
the end of the
Hello,
race.
Deathling. So the de facto leader of the entire race has joined me to commentate the rest of it. That was an unfortunate incident.
Yeah, let's leave it at that and move on. So who's leading? MKL's leading, okay.
Your teammate is doing quite a good job out there. It's now P5.
Yeah, Scruffy's been good, man. He's had solid pace. It's been nice to have him up there as well, because he was holding back Scruffy for a few laps as well, which was awesome to see. So
yeah. Let's hope he will have a better end to the race than you did.
I do hope so. I do rather hope so. So MKL leads from Striker, Door, and Jacob.
That is correct. Jacob is now making places. He was actually in the back of the grid for a moment. He's now
He
4th.
got spun round at the start of the race.
Yes, he did.
I believe it was it Scraffy that spun him round at the start of the race? I'm not
Hard
really
to
sure.
say. I was not paying attention. There was fight going on in front of them. So I only saw that someone touched him, but I didn't see who exactly was that.
No, I didn't see it at the start because it was wet start, so I was concentrating on the start of the race.
So we have a question from a viewer, Penguin, asking on a scale of 1 to 10, how barbarian was the scream you let out after the crash deafling?
It was rather loud because I knew Jacob was having a bad race, so it was 26 points could have been mine because I had Scraffy covered there. So, but it was fun. I enjoyed it. Me and Scraffy were having a good scrap. So, but it's been a good race, hasn't it, Mouse? I've seen it. I've seen you commentate on the stream. It looked good.
Yeah, it has been a good race. We had a little bit of a battles here and there. Jacob Snacks making his way to the field after being spun around. Obviously, still MKL and Striker Boy are gonna be continuing their scrap between the two of them. Door to Door and Pockets will probably be continuing that as well when Jacob Snacks when Jacob Snacks passes Door to Door as well, because that's inevitable, I believe.
Yes.
Inevitable, or in the English heart. So
well, Door and Jacob had a good battle. I remember all the way back to Bahrain in the first race. They were having a good battle. And Pockets, I'm sure, will love to get involved with battling Jacob.
yeah, definitely. M is out there as well. I was not expecting M to be this high up. He really loves this track, I think.
Yes, he really does. It's a good fun track. I think all the drivers have been practicing because it's actually a really fun track to drive, especially in the F1 game. I think it feels better in the F1 game.
Yeah. I mean, there isn't a good mod for it in Assetto Corsa, I think.
No, there should be. It would be fun to drive in the Assetto Corsa.
MK on cold hards versus every meaningful car on the mediums. I mean, yeah, but if he manages to hold them off for a couple of laps, his tires are gonna be better off for the rest of the race. We had a call that Jacob's gonna win this. We'll see about that. MKL is looking pretty strong out there.
Well, I think if now with my DNF, I think if Jacob wins this race, he might be champion. Well, it's definitely going to be harder for me to win the championship now if he does pull out a victory. Obviously, those 25 points are desperately needed to close the gap, but him running in P4 is very good.
Yeah, good for him, not so good for you. The safety car is
good
quite long on this track. I mean, it was 2 laps already, and we are on the 3rd lap, which feels like eternity for me. But it was the same case with the first safety car, so...
Yeah, well, the first safety car came out at the right time for everyone, because it just was swapping to that dry condition, and I think I triggered everyone pulling into the pits. I thought, well, I might as well try a set of slick tyres, and it was clearly the right choice.
Yeah, clearly the right choice. Pockets and Scrap decided to stay out, and it cost them dearly. They could have been much further ahead. So the safety car is in this lap.
Yep, safety car in this lap, 21 of 31. MKL leads Striker Boy, Door to Door, and Jacob, your top 4. And we have another 10 laps to go in this race. Everyone's made their final pit stops, I believe.
Yep, so it would seem, maybe except Alicento. He's still on 10 laps or parts.
Maybe he's planning to go to the end of the race. I believe also Pockets made the decision to pit. He was planning to go to the end of the race originally, but that safety car caused by myself and Scraffy helped him make a decision. So MKL want to start this as late as possible. Obviously, the only one on the hard tyres. Bit of a collision there with Striker Boy. But the safety car is in the pits, and we can get back under racing speed.
So yeah, MKL starts, he pushes his pedal to the metal, and now he's away. Striker Boy not very far behind him. Doctor was caught napping a little bit. He's a little bit further down the order. Jacob Snacks closely behind him, and now Door to Door had a little bit of a moment there, and Jacob Snacks thought about an overtake, but had to stumble on his brake as hard as he could, as to not run into the back of the Aston Martin.
That was a very close moment for Jacob. He just needs to keep it clean now.
But that allows Pocket to get close to Jacob, and now Pocket's tried to make a move, and he thought about an overtake, thought about a dive bomb, but thought better of it, and now had to slot behind the McLaren.
He backed out there, he didn't want to force a dive bomb. Jacob now looking to make up time he lost. As Door makes another mistake, I think he hits the wall actually on the inside. He's now got to defend from Jacob, but as it's been proven, this is a difficult place to overtake. And he's going to need that DRS, but it won't be online for the next 3 laps.
But look how much pace they lost compared to Striker and MKL.
MKL and Striker Boy just pulling away from the rest of the field, and Jacob's going to be under pressure here from Pockets.
He's now very close to the back of the McLaren. He tried to make again a little bit of a dive bomb, but had to slot in yet again behind the McLaren.
Pockets thinking about a move in a place that you shouldn't really be thinking about moves.
That is very true, but that's pushing pressure on Jacob Snacks. That might force him into a mistake later on, and does so. Jacob Snacks touches a wall on the inside of the corner, which allows Door to Door to get a little bit of a breathing room between himself and Jacob.
Jacob cannot afford any mistakes here. This is a race that if he finishes P4, he'll be pretty happy with it. It'll give him a nice healthy point advantage, or adds to his own point advantage at the moment. But in terms of the race lead, MKL I think really struggling on those hard set of tyres. They were not the right choice.
Striker Boy getting very close to the back of the Alpha Tauri, as is Door to Door, they're all back with them again. MKL is holding them back quite immensely now. They had a little bit of a gap now, and the gap is gone. So will we see an overtake anytime soon?
Striker just doesn't have the straight line speed he needs at the moment. He really needs that DRS activation zone as Lachlan and Scrub go wheel to wheel. He goes a bit wide. Scrub has to back off. Can he go around the outside? He can't afford a move there, and he's back down to P9. So he's still in the points. He's got Corny behind him, but Scrub also on that hard set of tyre at 9 laps on the hard tyres. So he did not make a pit stop during that last safety car.
So there's a little bit of a train forming behind Lachlan, but Corny in this train is now the only one without a penalty, so that's gonna allow him to jump into P8 if the Red Bull driver will be able to stay with them. He tried to make a move on Scrap, didn't quite work out. He lost a little bit of time, but now he is using the energy. He's inching closer towards the rest of them. But yeah, Lachlan still ahead of Scrap, and Scrap is still ahead of Corny. Let's jump back to Striker Boy, who is still behind MKL for some reason. I still suspect that MKL might be running a lower wings than the rest of them, so that allows him to stay ahead on the straight. But now Striker Boy under pressure from Door to Door, and Jacob as well. Will he be able to hold on to that position?
I think a bit of internet issue there for Striker Boy, really put him down the field. It seems he seemed to lose connection for just a few seconds. Corny now ahead. Scrub has he's pulled into the pits. He's getting rid of those hard tyres. Should have made the pit stop. Didn't want to double stack Mercedes under the last safety car, so that's really ruined Scrub's afternoon. Jacob still not making any progress on the rest of the field, but DRS is now enabled, and this is going to be Striker's chance down the back straight. DRS enabled, ERS being used all the way down the back straight. Slipstream enabled. Is he far enough back for a dive bomb? He can't really think about it. Locks up from MKL. And Striker Boy can't make a move, but now within 0.2 of a second.
Oh, that was a lock up.
Another
that was a lock up from MKL.
Striker Boy just not close enough yet to make that opportune move. He really needs to get on with things here. Door really loving this Singapore Grand Prix circuit. He's loving the street circuits. We do go back to Singapore next year in season 5, to be confirmed on the calendar for next season. But now Striker Boy with another helping of DRS. It's really not long enough, that DRS straight, is it, to really make a move?
Yeah, and MKL has an amazing start of the straight. I mean, he just poof, like he pressed the nitro button or something. He just went away. Striker Boy looks stationary compared to him.
Striker really just basically pushing MKL around this final sector. He's been strong here all weekend through the final sector. Obviously, Tier 2 race, I was watching it, victory was stolen away by the game, saying that he got disqualified for overtaking the safety car after leading pretty much the entire Grand Prix. So in a weekend of controversial results, and here comes
Snags make a move now.
Down the inside, he makes the move, but Door tags him, Door back up the inside, and this is a proper wheel battle between the McLaren and Aston Martin.
I think Door will have to back up as Jacob Snags now have a better line to the next corner, and he does so. Yes, Jacob Snags is now ahead, but Door will have the DRS open. So will Jacob Snags. Will he be able to get back at him? He has the slipstream of the McLaren. Will that be enough?
It's not looking like enough at the moment. Jacob romping into third place, and that is perfectly placed for him to pick up a healthy chunk of points as we head to the penultimate round in Abu Dhabi. But this is still a long way from over yet. Lap 25 of 31. Anything can happen, as it's been proven this weekend in both Tier 1 and Tier 2.
It definitely is. That was an interesting race, and it's still an interesting race. As Striker Boy still putting pressure on MKL, and Door still not giving up that easily. But Pockets is still there in the mix. He's trying to get in front of that Aston Martin, as Jacob Snags did a couple of laps ago. Anything can happen, as you said.
4/10 between Striker and MKL, 4/10 between Jacob and Striker. MKL maybe starting to fire up these hard set of tyres. He knows he'll have the advantage maybe sort of towards lap 30, 31. He's still got to defend for a while, but it's proven by Scraffy and myself earlier, it's really difficult even in the dry to overtake around here. You might have the extra pace advantage, but it's just no real points to overtake.
Yeah, and now the longer the battle lasts, the better for MKL. The guys on the medium tires are going to be running out of rubber pretty soon, and he'll be good for to go for the rest of the race.
Here comes Striker once again, 3/10 seconds, a yellow flag in the third sector.
That's Fawaz, that's going to allow Scrap to get in front of him, I believe. Oh no, and Scrap also has a yellow flag.
Oh, the commentator's curve strikes again, but here comes Striker Boy down the back straight. He's got DRS, he's got ERS, he's closer than he was on the previous two occasions. MKL goes defensive. Striker tries to find a gap around the outside. He can't seem to find one. Jacob just watching this battle unfold. He knows he can't afford to really get involved. He needs the points. He has that advantage already. But if he causes an incident or he crashes or he DNFs, that could be the end of his afternoon. Striker Boy closing on still on MKL. He takes a wide line, as many drivers have been doing this afternoon. He gets the power on, but once again MKL getting a brilliant exit out of that corner, as you said, Mouse.
He's been doing this all day today. Getting out of that corner was so easy for MKL compared to all the other guys. We saw some of them lose places because of the poor exits of that hairpin, but MKL has been clinical through it. All 26 laps of the race.
So lap 26, heading on to lap 27. Not many laps to go now. Can Striker avenge his win from yesterday evening? A race win he deserved and comfortably had in his hand. And now with DRS enabled, DRS, can he get close enough to just hold onto MKL through this first sector? He just needs to get within about 2/10 of a second and he'll have that overtaking opportunity. He's within 2/10 now. He just needs to keep it into the DRS zone through the right-hander. But he's gone wide. That's going to cost him on the exit, and it might actually cost him to Jacob, who's right on the rear. But the DRS chain will probably keep Jacob in third place.
The door-to-door dropped back a little bit. He's now over 1 second behind Jacob Snags. That's going to allow Pockets to maybe have a go, because now door-to-door will not be able to open up his rear wing. That's going to help your teammate immensely.
Now that will help Pockets try and move up into that top four, maybe try and put some pressure on Jacob, Striker and MKL. And Jacob maybe, I think he's not really thinking about a move on Striker Boy. I'm sure he'll want it as a racer, he'll want to get past these two. But he's got a World Championship to think about. With a healthy lead, and the lead is getting healthier, but he's actually closing in really rapidly.
He's trying to make a move, goes for the dive.
But it was close, but it wasn't close enough. he sort of did a half move there. He didn't collide with Striker Boy. Striker Boy suddenly lost a lot of pace. I wonder if he's lost grip in those tyres.
Yeah, Striker Boy now switching from defense to from offense to defense. As he was trying to make a move on MKL, now he's gonna try to defend from Jacob Snacks.
So Jacob on lap 28, taking a lot of curb there, but he's kept it going in a straight line. He made an incident here on the left-hand side yesterday in Tier 2, crashed into the wall, ended his race very quickly. After the first restart, that allowed Striker to take the lead. So these two did battle for the lead in yesterday's Singapore Grand Prix. But in today's Singapore Grand Prix, they battle again. Fawaz retires. And is that going to cause a safety car?
No, it's not. The Fawaz bot is still moving around the track, so no safety car.
No safety car. Then we've had quite a few safety cars already this afternoon. Mostly VSCs due to the wet conditions, but Striker Boy a lot closer to MKL now. Can he make a dive down the inside? No, he thinks about it, but he's not close enough yet. Just putting a bit more pressure on MKL. Is MKL going to get a first victory in Tier 1? Some of these drivers will be Tier 1 drivers next year. I'm sure Striker Boy will be. He's been rapid this weekend. Jacob will remain a Tier 1 driver, and MKL I'm sure will be coming up next season as well.
All of them moving so close together.
Pockets also within 5/10 of Door. Door does have a time penalty, so that is already Pockets moving up the order. But if he can move up the order and try and battle for the podiums, he will do so. Once again, Striker not getting the best exit out of that corner. He needs to keep it going. Striker wants that podium finish. He got disqualified in yesterday's Singapore Grand Prix. He didn't even get classified as a finisher. He just wants that podium glory that he deserved last night in Singapore, and he deserves a race win, and maybe he might get one. MKL was also screwed out of a podium yesterday. He had a podium in his palm of his hand. He got taken out by another driver, and he finished P6. So Jacob taking a lot of that curb once again, but it works for him. And on to lap 29 here. Striker is within 0.3 of a second as we come down the back straight. But once again, not close enough yet to think about a move.
Doesn't look that good for Striker and Jacob Snacks now. MKL is now running away from them. The hard tires are proving to be the better choice for the remaining stint after the safety car. And now Jacob Snacks pulls out alongside Striker Boy, and now he's the outside line, but he makes that move stick, and now Jacob Snacks moves up to the second place. Striker Boy has been relegated to third.
Striker Boy loses out, and it could be another victory for Jacob, which come Abu Dhabi might make him world champion. He's got a few places. He really recovered in this race. Started second, started on the front row, but got spun around at the start of the Grand Prix. He's now challenging for the race lead. And
Alicento now made a move into the pits. He's now on soft tires, but that's not going to help him at all since there's only 2 laps left in the race.
maybe trying to steal the fastest lap of the race.
Might be, yes.
As Jacob looks to close in on MKL. Can Jacob come away? You've got to really say he's nicked this race win if he can come away with a win here this afternoon.
Will Jacob Snacks be able to succeed when Striker Boy could not? I wonder. That's still 2 laps remaining. He's still gonna have a lot of opportunities to get in front of that MKL Alpha Tauri, but he is on a little bit older tires as well as softer compound, so those wheels are gonna be gone.
The race lead did change hand on lap 30 in the Tier 2 race. Striker will get to 3-second time penalty, which will end his challenge for a top 2 finish. It might even allow Pockets to get close enough, but look how close Jacob is to MKL now. He's got no ERS though, and MKL still with a 50% ERS. He's not going to get past him here. Jacob may want to settle for second best. Pockets might have a chance for a podium finish after all.
As things stand right now, he's on the podium.
So Pockets will be 3rd place on the podium. That would be a good result for the Haas team. Can Jacob possibly, though, for McLaren to get 25 points headed his way? That's 25 points added on to the 25-point lead he already had in the driver's standings. And he
Also
almost
close.
goes into the back of MKL. He's really pushing for this race win. He knows he can secure
But
a
look how
World
much of a better
Championship.
exit did MKL have over Jacob Snacks.
MKL is fighting for his life to win this Singapore Grand Prix. He was running in the podium before the incident between Scrappy and myself. He needs to just hold on for one more lap and he will be a race winner in Tier 1, and Jacob is pushing him round the corner. He's braking so late into some of these corners, Jacob. And is there any chance we're going to see Jacob Snacks win as we head on to the final lap of the race? It's MKL that leads from Jacob, from Striker Boy, door to door, and then Pocket running in P4.
And that's Scrap causing another yellow flag in the second sector.
Grub has spun in the second sector, but we return to the battle for the race lead. MKL 3/10 ahead of Jacob. He's got 44% ERS. He will just dump it down the back straight. Jacob will not have anything to challenge him. He's only got 5% himself, and all the way down the back straight, there's nothing Jacob can do. And I think MKL, unless he makes a mistake in this middle sector, has done enough to pick up a first race victory in Tier 1.
Let's not jinx him just yet, anything can happen obviously. But yeah, it looks mighty promising for the Avatari driver. As Silento now steals the fastest lap, that's not gonna do him any favors as he's now running 11th.
He stole it from me.
Yeah, he will DNF, so that's not gonna change anything at all.
You're gonna take everything from me. Right, anyway, Jacob has another chance here down the back straight. DRS enabled, but he hasn't got the ERS to challenge MKL. We had 40% battery MKL when we begun this lap, and he's still around the 20-30% margin. But it's been another very entertaining Singapore Grand Prix. We started in the wet conditions, and then it went to dry. Oh
He's
no!
hit him!
And Jacob has hit MKL, and it's
There's a huge pile up below the bridge. Striker is gonna win! Door to door is somehow
Jacob gets through, but
able to clear pocket. I mean, what was that, Jacob?
Striker wins. Jacob's pulled off to the side of the road. He's gonna let people through. Abe finishes second. Pockets will finish third. Jacob finishes fourth.
MKL has been absolutely robbed.
MKL has been robbed of a race victory. I was doing the big build-up for him and everything. Oh, there is going to be some investigation for Jacob. There might be hope for me yet, Mouse.
I mean, I
What was he
am
thinking?
thinking right now about taking the results from a previous lap because, yeah, we'll discuss that with the stewards as well. That race was absolute chaos. The two leaders colliding with the back marker that was spun around. Then the race leader on the final lap getting absolutely killed by another racing contender.
And Striker slipped through. So we got Striker, Aim, and Pockets on the podium. We need to win the cooldown room for interviews.
Yeah.
Oh, for goodness sake.
That was absolutely,
You know,
horrifying what happened
Mouse,
on the last lap.
when I qualified it on pole, I was thinking, I just want a normal race. I just want a calm, normal race.
It was anything but a calm normal race.
I ended up commentating. That's how not calm and normal the race was. Right, should we get the drivers in the cooldown room, please?
None of them are in the Discord server.
Aim's in the Discord.
Aim's in the Discord server, yeah, let's get him to the
Aim,
cooldown
and
room.
I need Strikers in Mercedes. And Pockets is there as well.
Okay.
So we'll bring in Pockets first because he finished third. Right, let's get Pockets.
Oh, hello.
Mate. You finished third. How do you feel?
Confused.
Do you know how I feel?
Confused.
I know how
feel
you
very good.
feel. Yeah, because you left the VC, and I immediately knew what was happening. Yeah,
Well, yeah, finished third. How did you finish that? How did you manage that?
I professionally avoided you and Scrappy,
Yep.
and then I just drove, and
Yeah.
yeah, the ending was pretty random, and I don't know who caused it, but
Jacob did.
And
Jacob
I
went into
feel
the
like
title.
there's gonna be something about that ending because it caused pretty big mess.
Jacob
I'm
slammed
I'm
into the
happy
title
though. I have a
hill.
podium. I have a third place, which might get deleted because the doors penalty.
Yes.
But I'm here on the interview and he's not. So
Well done.
fuck off, door.
Well done, Pocket. Thanks for the getting some points for Haas, I guess.
Yeah.
No need to worry. Mouse, how did you enjoy that race? Let me be the.
Yeah, am I getting interviewed now?
Yeah, you are.
So, from my point of view, the race was a very chaotic one, but very enjoyable as well. We had you and door-to-door scrapping for almost entire race. We had Scruffy and MKL scrapping also for almost the entirety of the race. We had the battle between Deathling and Striker
Scrappy.
Boy, Scruffy.
Yeah.
I
That was
got the
good.
names some
That
there
was a good
confused,
battle.
but yeah, that all around the good battles. On the first lap after the virtual safety car, we saw a moves done into the hairpin. So yeah, there was a lot of action going on all around.
Okay, that's a pretty good summary. I wouldn't say it better. So thank you
Well,
Yeah.
thank
and
you, Pockets.
have a
Thank you for the
have a good.
confusing interview.
Yeah, it.
As confusing as the race itself.
Yes.
Pockets, that race was so insane I ended up commentating it.
That race was so insane. I finished on the podium, and
Yeah.
that's a
right.
thing.
Thanks,
Okay,
Pockets.
boys. Bye bye.
We'll bring in Striker now, because aim's gone.
Yes.
I see. Right.
Hello, Striker
Striker,
Boy. So
you,
you are de facto race winner now. You took an advantage of what happened on the last lap. How do you feel about
Yeah.
winning like that?
I don't know what
Redemption,
to
mate.
say.
Hey, redemption, eh? You lost it last night, you won it tonight. You got it off of me.
Yeah, boy.
Yeah. Oh, I'm so
Shouldn't have
happy
been
for
my
you.
win. Should have been yours, but.
How was that
Jesus.
race for you, Striker? That was fun, wasn't it?
I never want to drive Singapore again.
I was having so much fun. I was enjoying it. Well,
Drove past your dead car and I felt so bad.
yeah, a lot of people did. But yeah, Striker, your first win in Tier 1. You were robbed last night because of the game. And you won it tonight because Jacob lost his brakes going into MKL, it seemed.
He decided he was a hired killer at that corner. Yeah.
That was such a strange way. Everybody just piling in.
Yeah, you managed to slip through though, mate. You got the win. That's what matters, even with your 3-second time penalty. I literally was. I don't know if you watched the stream. Before that happened, I was building like I was doing a Crofty moment up for MKL.
Oh no.
And
He
literally,
was controlling his
I
pace
got
the
to
entire time.
as I got to the thing, literally Jacob slammed into the side of him as I was finishing my point. But anyway, thanks Striker for having an interview, mate.
Thanks for having me.
We'll see you in Abu Dhabi.
Yay.
Yeah.
Goodbye.
Bye,
Goodbye.
Striker. So Mouse, thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks for joining me today.
I know it was unexpected, me joining, but it was fun.
It really was, until it wasn't for MKL.
Or myself.
Yes.
But yeah, no. So in terms of Jacob, do you think he'll get a penalty for that?
Well, definitely a penalty, but I don't know how severe. That's for stewards to
Can
decide.
it be a disqualification?
Striker, Deathling. I mean, I know that disqualification would be the best suited for you, but that's not for me to decide. As
Can we go back to the lap that I was winning and then go from there?
Yeah, sure, whatever you say.
Hey, look, there we go, guys.
There we go.
Well, thanks, Mouse.
Thanks for everyone joining us. Thanks for everyone actually sending messages during the race. And
Very good
yeah,
Tier 1 race.
it was a very good race. Very
We
exciting.
We go to what, Abu Dhabi next?
Yeah, I think so. So
Bring on
I
Abu Dhabi.
hope to see you, everyone in Abu Dhabi, and I hope the next one will be a little bit less random. So thanks yet again, and see you next time.
See you next time.